We witness a girl in trouble on a barren island at the start of the film, but we aren't informed how exactly she got there. To find out the full narrative behind it, let's take a look back in time. 4 individuals are depicted, one of them is a billionaire. These 4 are actually traveling to an island that is well known for its seafood. The captain orders everyone to seat on the ship, and it is only then that we meet Manuel, another man who works for the captain now. Just as he is ready to board the ship, his girlfriend arrives and announces that she will be the mother of his kid. Manuel, however, declines and claims that the child is not his. During their current disagreement, his girlfriend adds, "I know where you're going, but remember this deception will cost you dearly." Manuel even strikes her in a fit of wrath, which exacerbates the situation, and his girlfriend leaves him furious. Everybody who was standing there at the moment was observing all of these happenings. As everyone departs for their journey, Jack and Manuel argue over supper one evening. Jack, the billionaire, regards everyone as inferior to him since he is so arrogant about his wealth, and he treats Manuel in the same way in this situation. He is therefore not very pleased with him. However, we also see Manuel's girlfriend Maria doing some sort of evil magic in a dark spot. On the other hand, Manuel was reading the book in comfort. He was concerned by the commotion coming from Jack and his wife's room, which was adjacent to his own. Just as he is about to turn them down, blood spurts from his nose, courtesy of the dark magic. But he ignores this and goes to sleep. Everything's morning now, and Manuel had completely forgotten about everything. However, he gets into a fight with Jack once more in the morning, which infuriates the captain. The captain threatens to dismiss him if he doesn't act well with the visitors. Now, Manuel snatches his knife, furiously declines to work, and informs the captain, "I'm not coming to work here anymore, starting today." He tosses a handkerchief as he is walking away, and it lands on the gas and ignites. Since nobody was in the kitchen at the time, no one finds out. The fire spreads throughout the ship quite slowly. When they realize this, they all board the lifeboats in an attempt to escape the ship and save their own lives. During the night, a powerful storm arrives, scattering people all over the place. Jennifer is shown sitting alone on an island by the sea, in sadness. She can't comprehend anything at all now. Abruptly, she discovers the lifeless body of Captain lying in the ocean. She approaches him and pulls him out of the water in an attempt to save him. However, we also see Manuel there, indicating that he lived through everything as well. They banded together in an attempt to rouse the captain, but he was already dead. Here, they first construct a wooden shelter for themselves before going to the water to catch some fish, which they share between them. Despite their superb conservation on the boat, Manuel and Jennifer had a pleasant day together. After a few days like this, he finally shows Jennifer how to swim and catch fish. But she declines since she is terrified of the water's depths. Thus, he goes there by himself and buys fish for her. When he approaches to check on Jack, he is still breathing. He finds him laying there. He then brings him to Jennifer, who is overjoyed to meet him. They give each other hugs, and Jennifer gives Manuel a lot of praise for looking after her for so many days. She might not have survived if he hadn't been present. Jack finds it bothersome that Jennifer and Manuel have become close friends and believes that there may be a romantic relationship between them. Upon returning from their fish-catching expedition, they discover that Jack has started the fire. They were having a lot of trouble starting the fire, so they were taken aback to see this. Here, Jack explains that he has a lighter, which he uses to start the fire. This makes them both extremely pleased since it allows them to prepare the meal. However, Jack starts acting suspiciously and mistreats Manuel one day. Manuel does not provide a response. Jack has ejected Manuel and built a separate shelter for himself. When she realizes this, she becomes very irate with him and asks why, to which Jack gives no response. Because he really didn't trust anyone, not even his own wife, he subtly encourages her to stay with him. Both of them stay like way for several days after this. However, Jack and Manuel quarrel one day after things get out of control, and Jack takes the opportunity to show Manuel how proud he is of his wealth. He states, "People like you work under me, and you have no right to talk with my wife." Here, Manuel also informs him that he won't be feeding the two of them going forward. Jack then returns the lighter and says it's all right. Then the two of them part ways. However, Jennifer was fully aware that Manuel would be able to support himself in this place. but Jack would not be able to do so due to his lack of fishing ability, and she would not be able to live. However, she also remains at his side and helps him. Jack is unable to catch any fish, thus his main source of nutrition is coconut water. Jennifer is horrified to see this. The following day, she goes fishing with him, but Jack catches 2 tiny, deadly fish while Jennifer does not catch anything. Manuel, in the meantime, was enjoying his meal, but he feels sorry for Jennifer when he notices that she is hungry. She declines his offer of food because she fears Jack would become enraged. However, Manuel swears that he won't discuss this with Jack. She had been starving for several days, which is why she used to pay attention to him. She gives him a kiss as she leaves. Conversely, Jack had made ready to consume those 2 deadly fish, but he discovers, through some means, that Jennifer has consumed the meal, which is why he yells at her. But she soothes him once more. The two went fishing together once more the next day. However, nothing ever reaches their hands, which made them quite angry. John notices Manuel taking their fire as they return. He then approaches him and douses his flames in dirt. Then they both get into a battle once more, and they both give each other really hard hits. However, Jennifer saves them once more, and Manuel continues to severely mistreat him. This cannot continue for many more days, therefore John must now catch fish since his hunger is becoming intolerable. In order to utilize Manuel's spectacles to see farther into the water, he gets up early one morning and takes them. However, Manuel was ignorant of this. He opens his eyes, but his glasses are not there. After becoming enraged, he goes to murder him with a sharp stick. However, Jennifer tries to stop him, and in the process, they get rather near to one another. However, Jennifer was worried that Jack would find out about this. However, he discovers that everyone is seated quite silently when he returns after capturing the fish. And he says nothing as he hands Manuel his spectacles. Jack begins to wonder that anything may have transpired between Manuel and his wife after that. And Jennifer tells him everything once he asks. Aware of this, he yells at her repeatedly and even uses her hair to eject her. Manuel feels terrible since he witnessed everything. He visits Jennifer and tends to her needs. 5 months go by after that as time continues. They had organized all they needed at this period. However, Jack has also picked up some abilities in this regard. He had fashioned his own spectacles, which he uses to spear fish in the ocean. When Jack goes fishing one day, he doesn't see a boat submerged in the sea until later. Because there was only one option for them to get out of here, Manuel goes to aid him when he brings it up. However, Jack is unwilling to accept Manuel's assistance in any situation. From there, he departs in silence. Jennifer approaches him now, but he urges her to go as well. They were both watching as he gradually begins mending the boat so he may go. She suggests that we take the boat and flee from here, saying that he won't even be aware of it. However, Manuel questions how someone could stay on such boat all the time. However, Jack was keeping an ear out from behind the tree and learned of their entire scheme. After that, he visits the water the following day after learning that Manuel has caught a large fish. They are able to take the boat and set sail at this time. But soon the boat starts to sink, and they discover that Jack had always intended for them to steal the boat and perish. They are compelled to swim back to the island, where Jack awaits them, attacking Manuel with a spear as he grows weary and robbing Jennifer. That evening, Manuel rushes to her aid, but not before suffering injuries and falling ill. When Jack sees the two the next day, they are perched on a tree limb. Now that he is weaker, he tosses one of his spears to Manuel, causing him to stumble and fall to the ground before Jack can kill him. Jennifer attempts to murder Jack with his own knife by pinning him to the ground. In an attempt to topple Jack, Manuel takes up a huge boulder, but he stumbles back and ends up impaling himself on one of Jack's spears. Maria does a voodoo ritual and spikes Manuel's effigy at the same time. After a year, a family in a yacht sets anchor close to the island and explores, finding Jennifer dozing off in her hut. She goes with them, still a little upset at Manuel's passing, but she makes no mention of Jack, who she has been obliged to live with and rely on since Manuel's passing. Jack screams out as he watches her go on the boat as he is fishing. However, Jennifer ultimately gets even with him by ignoring him. Jennifer had also stolen his lighter, which prevented him from starting any further fires. He is not audible to the family on the boat. Jack is left on the island alone, and it is unclear what will happen to him in the end.